Tyler, if you're gonna join a kill team for a trip to the beach, who would you go with?
I mean, it's the Navy Beachers, right?
That's right. That's the correct answer. And we took a trip to the beach, well, to the coast at least. And we're gonna talk about that on the Vox Cascadia podcast. Welcome back, gentlemen. Connor, how you doing, buddy?
Not too bad, doing good. Always glad to be here and excited to play some Kill Team Third Edition as well as some boarding actions.
Yeah, we got the hype is real. It's slowly they're drip feeding us the kill team stuff. Last week I got a lot of we got a lot of stuff on the Vespids, and this week we're getting some stuff on the.
Nothing, nothing yet. It's Tuesday. They released what? It was like a little tiny lore blurb. Come on,
I
you
know.
guys. I need all the lore. I need all of the info now.
They teased
Faster.
us they teased us on the weekend, and I was thinking like I woke up like Tuesday morning and thinking like we're gonna get stuff and nothing. So besides
Yeah.
waiting anxiously for information on the new kill teams, Tyler, what have you been up to?
I honestly, I've just been working weird hours. That's it. I've been working nights and trying to deal with some issues with shirts getting swapped in the mail. My shipper sent out a few with the wrong shirts to the wrong people, so I've been dealing with that. And yeah, other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, you mentioned to me the other day that you were just getting ready for like an overnight shift, and so it sounds like you've been working some crazy hours. And by the way, people, if my audio sounds a little different than usual, it's because I'm on vacation and recording this on my girlfriend's laptop. So you get what you
He's
get.
he's a beach bum, is what he's trying to tell you. He's
Yeah.
he's we're going to tell you about our beach vacation from a few weeks ago. Then he's already back there again, hanging out, chilling. So
Yeah, it's the life of a banker. That's what I do. It's, I'm inland and then I'm coastal and I'm all over the place. But like Tyler said, we're going to talk about our trip to the coast a couple weekends ago. We I don't even know who had this crazy idea, and we're going to call this Vox Coast-Cadia because David coined that phrase. But somebody had a crazy idea to get together down to the coast. I have access to a house at the coast on the Oregon coast in Astoria, actually, and was able to take advantage of that with the boys here, Connor, Tyler, my buddy Nick, who you've heard a bunch about, and his friend Johan. And we decided to pile into our respective vehicles from around the Northwest, drive down here, and do a lot of nerdy crap all weekend long, and it was really fun.
really, really good.
Yeah, we not only we played Kill Team, we watched a lot of Arrested Development, we had some Mexican food, and I just kind of want to recap the weekend, and also I'm hoping to inspire people to, and it doesn't have to be the coast, it can be anywhere, like we did it when we did Chucky Con back in March. It can just be at your house, get some friends together, and just have some social time along with our gaming time. So
Yeah, absolutely. I think like one thing that is really important is to, you've made these friends playing this game. Take them outside of the game a little bit. It can still be tied into that, but social time is nice. Get to know people outside of playing war games.
yeah, I know one of the things that most people really enjoyed actually about the Tacoma Open, besides the gaming itself, was the social that we had set up beforehand. Zach found us a nice sweaty as hell space, but a cool space, and we were able to get, I think, 20 of us together and just kind of sit around and talk to each other about other things other than Kill Team. We talked a lot of Kill Team too, but it was really nice, and we did a little more of that. Got the Vox Cascadia crew and a couple other people together and came down to the coast. Connor, what did you think of the weekend overall?
It was a really great time. It's always fun hanging out with you guys in person, especially because I don't get to do that too much outside of events when most of the time we're busy running them or playing them. So it's nice just to hang out with you guys and be able to relax and, not have to worry about, oh God, we got to make sure this event goes well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I just kind of want to talk through how the whole weekend went. So like the timeline about how it was, and some highlights and some lowlights, which was Tyler spilling stuff everywhere, but uh nothing was ruined permanently. So I came down from Vancouver Connor and Nick came down from the Port Orchard, Bremerton area, and we met up on a Thursday evening in Astoria, and we went to one of my favorite places first. We went to Fort George Brewing here on the coast. Had had Connor had a I think Connor had a burger. Nick had a burger, I think too. I had the poutine, which was delicious, but the dairy destroyed me. So, and then that evening we just kind of hung around, and I painted a little bit on my mandrakes. Connor busted out some robots to paint, of course, and then we started watching some Arrested Development, and that kind of became a theme around the weekend. Connor, you kind of love that show, don't you?
I absolutely do. It's probably one of my favorite shows of all time. It's just such a great show, and even though I was pretty young when it came out, I have grown to love it with nearly every fiber of my being.
So in this house, there's 3 bedrooms, so we had to split some people up. So it ended up Nick, Johan, and Connor ended up in one room. Tyler had his own room, and I had my own room. And it was funny because eventually, by the time we went to bed that evening on Thursday, I I was in one room and I could hear Connor and Nick in the other room giggling like schoolgirls at an overnight slumber party about Arrested Development into the wee hours of the morning. I thought I was gonna have to come in and tell you guys to knock it off.
It's not our fault. That show's immensely quotable and immensely funny.
Yes, it is. And actually, I it was nice to get back to it. With the weekend, I brought down all of my kill teams basically. The only thing I didn't bring was Phobos and my vet guard. And I anybody who listens to the podcast regularly understands that I have trouble picking a team. So this weekend, I left it up to chance. I found an app that had a roulette wheel, and I put all the kill teams I brought, and I spun the roulette wheel, and it picked my teams. So joining us on the weekend actually was Sam, who I've lives down in the area here, and I'm actually going to play him tomorrow night too. And he came down and brought his Nemesis Claw on Friday actually, when we were able to get together. It was Friday, right? Yeah, it was Friday.
Yeah, it was on
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah. Tyler and Johan joined us on Friday. Tyler came down middle of the day, and Johan came down in the afternoon. But I I spun the roulette wheel to play with Sam, and I of the teams I brought, the team that I got drawn with was Brood Brothers, which was the team that I was most familiar with recently, and it didn't go well for Sam's Nemesis Claw, needless to say. But it was fun, and I had a good time with him. Connor, I think you played Nick, right?
Yes, I played it Nick and then Johan, I believe, on Friday.
And actually, playing Nick, you brought out my Brood Brother, or not my Brood Brothers, my Blooded, right?
Yes, it was your first time, or it was the team's first time being played.
And how did that game go?
Pretty well. I killed a bunch of his models, but Blooded are a pretty tough team. You got to be careful with the aggression, and I'm an aggressive player and went over aggressive, and lost the game sadly for their opening move.
Yeah, so first time team's ever been played, and Connor not only let down me, but let down his dad, who is the blooded hero for all of us, Brandon Bean. Yeah, and you went into Nick's intercession, so and it sounded like actually Nick was shooting you up pretty good too.
Yeah, having to rely on 5-up saves and often at AP1, pretty not fun. I missed my 4-up saves.
But I was very proud to see that you actually moved on from the ad bank, at least for a game or two. So, and then Tyler, tell us about your day and your
Yeah,
trip down here.
I kind of like hopped in, like pulled up and came in, and it was like immediately. Whoa, hold on one second.
No little cat fight there in the background.
Yeah, absolutely. But based, they're really going at it in here. But yeah, I drove up from Salem. It was a really nice drive. Going over the coast, it gets pretty busy with traffic, so it took me a very very scenic route, and I like parked and like came into the house, and it was immediately kill team time. Connor and I hopped in for our first game of the weekend, right? Right as I got there.
Yeah,
Um,
pretty much.
yeah, like I pulled up, poured a drink, spilled it on the table immediately. Um, didn't even have time to like take a sip of it, and then we started our first game. So he was playing he was playing Chuck's Casterkin, which two games in a single day without there being robots. That's very impressive. Way to go, Connor.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I've been really attempting to branch out recently.
Yeah, and he won. He beat you with the Caskin, right?
He He did. I was playing Nemesis Claw, and yeah, it was rough for me. Not so rough for him. I mean, like, Nemesis Claw punch pretty good, but that AP just really, really does numbers. Being able to fix your dice and push those through without any kind of damage reduction makes it a strong matchup for Casterkin.
Yeah, it was nice to see Connor branch out and so you and Connor played twice now, or actually we'll get to it later, but you guys played another time later, but you guys played 3 total times.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, he's beat you once, and it's not with Admech. The only time he's actually beat you was with Casterkin. So Connor,
Yeah.
welcome, welcome, 4Cadia.
I mean, for Cadia, I guess, but let's not get wild here, Chuck. I still want to have a team with some sort of melee ability, and that is not Casterkin.
I mean, Ceaseless Chainsword, that's what we're talking about, buddy.
That's one guy. I can normally have 5.5.
Well, all I know is your record is 1-2 against Tyler, and that one is with my Casterkin. So, one super fun thing we actually did too, and I would encourage this with a group of if you have a group of people like we had who are very, they can take a little ribbing. We actually made a bingo chart. So, Nick and I were kind of talking about in Friday morning. We were talking about people and their quirks and like things that people do all the time, and we decided to actually make a bingo game. I found another app, found a little bingo app that you could actually put phrases in, and then you could even randomize them so everybody had different bingo cards. So I really had fun with this, and actually I think you guys had fun with it too, because I know that once everybody we didn't start bingo until Johan got there, because he got there a little later and we want to make sure that his pieces were included too. But I think it was super fun. And I know that like throughout the day, when something would come up that was on somebody's bingo card, everybody would point it out. Did you guys like the bingo? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was a fun thing. It was it was a good idea, and I liked all the jokes we had on it. I'm gonna make sure we have a photo of it posted.
Yeah, it was good. Like it was all like really light ribbing, stuff that you only like that you get from hanging out with people for a while, starting to know them, stuff that they talk about, stuff that they're likely to do. So it's like cool. It was a lot of fun, It was definitely like it also, added a little bit of competition to the whole thing, which is always a good time.
Yeah, and Tyler actually won the bingo challenge. He filled his card first.
Yeah. I mean, it was, I think I just got lucky on the layouts because like, Johan was popping off with his stuff and I had a couple of his in a row and, it was like Lord of the Rings reference, 80s action movie reference, like well there's some other direct thing like I had 3 of them in a row and he just like 1 2 3 and then you yelled at Indy and we were good.
Yeah, I'm still a little I'm still contesting the yelling at Indy piece, because I don't I feel like talking loudly to Indy versus when I yell at Indy. Because but you did win. I will give you that. I got second. So, and I'd love to actually go through and I want to talk about some of the stuff that was on the card. So Tyler talked about a few, but some things we had for Tyler was Tyler bringing up oils. I think we didn't mark that off within 10 minutes of him being here. Nick being
Yeah.
annoyed at a kill team rule, because Nick always says like, well, he's got rules like he's annoyed that Space Marines don't get better saves in melee because they have power armor. They should get better. They should get saves in melee or something different. And so Nick had that as well too. An anime reference. A joke about Connor's mom that was always come up. Connor bringing up Admech. That was on the list.
I went actually pretty far before bringing it up because I did my best. It was about a couple hours at least.
Yeah,
It was
he went
actually.
for a while. It was like deep in there before he like, I think he had even had some alcohol, which for Connor, like quarter of a White Claw, and he's white girl drunk. So
You know it, baby. It was Chuck's Kirkland Costco versions of White Claw. They were pretty good. The black cherry flavor.
Yeah, I got a whole like 24 pack of those, and I think we went through 2 of them. We
Yep.
did though go through an entire like half gallon of almost an entire half gallon of Crown Royal and an entire half gallon of vodka. So there was that.
yeah, it was delicious.
And
So
Johan brought like a 12 pack too of Ninkasi, and went through that in a local beer up here in the Northwest. couple other ones that I enjoyed. Someone explaining Warhammer lore that went really quick. Nick and Chuck, since I've known Nick for a little over 40 years now, bringing up a childhood reference, something we talked about in our childhood. Nick referencing something that I couldn't remember because Nick has this weird, crazy memory ability where he know like, and to the point where people around him don't remember this stuff, and he's kind of like almost like we're gaslighting him, that saying that we don't remember because he remembers all this stuff. We had a 80s Johan reference, Star Wars reference, a joke that went over Connor's head. That happens all the time. So, and then I got to fill my bingo card too, and the final closing piece that was my last square that I had to mark off was Connor flips off or swears at Chuck. And Connor had amazing self restraint because if you listen to the podcast regularly, you know that Connor tells me he hates me and, swears at me quite a bit. And especially
I've
in
never
person,
done
which is
any of
weird.
that once. That's all lies.
That's weird. It was on the bingo card and I definitely checked it off.
Ah, okay, interesting.
So after Connor and I actually, we played for our first time, and I used my wheel. I spun my wheel. I got intercession, and so I just went with it. So even though I had like some other teams would have been a better matchup, Connor though brought the sweat fest that is his ad mech, and was bound and determined to absolutely destroy me. Connor, do you want to talk about our game a little bit?
Yeah, you rolled on to Intercession, which was probably one of AdMech's easiest matchups. And I knew if you beat me, there would be endless shit you would talk. And I knew that if I lost with AdMech, it'd be even better content. So I figured I have to roll with my main into Chuck and talk an incredible amount of shit to you to make sure that, we just have a good discussion point.
And Connor did beat me, but
Because I'm the best.
he only beat me by like 2 points, and it honestly came down. We almost tied, and it came down to like a couple dice rolls right at the end.
A win is a win, Chuck.
Yeah, scoreboard, you beat me, but
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the game, I made you give me the double bird. I can't even remember what it said, but you were so incensed that you flipped me off, and I
I
filled my bingo
did,
card up.
yeah. I flipped you off and then quickly realized, shit, I just gave Chuck his bingo card.
Yeah, they going from the elation of telling me off to knowing that you actually still let me win in a way was very sweet.
It was. It was like it was pretty entertaining to like watch, the victory drain from Connor's eyes as he realizes he just stepped right into Chuck's plan.
Yes, my diabolical plan the entire time was not to actually beat Connor, but it was actually to win at bingo.
You'd be making Zinch plan proud with those plans within plans.
Yeah, but it was a really good game. It was fun. I'll tell you the truth, Connor. I was glad I didn't try and play sweaty because I know you're a better player than me, and I know with AdMech you're gonna kick my ass. And the fact that I did as good as I did was almost like a moral victory for me.
Well, hey, well done. Like I said, after I stopped gloating, you're often a great opponent. It was fun to finally get to play you, and it was even more fun to beat you. But beat you in a very close match, where it was some like incredible dice rolls that really kind of edged it out for me in the very end.
Yeah, it was good. We do need a rematch sometime, but I'll tell you that I mean I honestly I kind of like shrugged that match and went with the whole like, oh well, I'm bringing intercession. The wheel chose intercession for me, so that's what I'm bringing. So if Connor beats me, it's not a big deal. But you beat me fair and square, so we'll have to have actually like a sweaty rematch sometime.
We'll have to do our Vespids, or rather, your Vespids versus my Scions when those boxes finally release.
Chuck's the Scion guy. Come on, let's be real. Can you see Chuck playing out of those two bugs? He's playing Scions.
Connor really wants to play the Scions though, and I think the Vespids are going to paint up really quick. And I think I'm gonna paint them almost in like the classic style because, uh, like the pictures of the old ones with the blue and kind of orangish armor. The orangish armor actually matches the Tau that I have painted right now. So I'll go with the blue Vespids and I'll go with the orange armor, and then we'll fight. But I will probably end up playing more Scions than Vespids.
Chuck might definitely be more of a Scion guy, but I too am a Scion guy. I love that armor style and the helmets they have. So as cool as the Vespids are, I have to see the rules for both teams before I can fully declare an allegiance. But right now, it's definitely Scion favorite for me.
You gonna give him robot heads, robot arms, anything cool? like that. Make them an AdMech allied force.
He's giving them like robot like backpacks, right? Like jets. You got to
Um,
spend like $200 on jets for him.
I might not so much for the signs. If anything, I would do my own, of course, Skitari Scion proxies. But I do like the Scions. I probably, if I can, will use a Bionic or two. But for the Scions, the look of them is just so good. I'm probably gonna do pure out of the box. Maybe a couple of like weapon swaps or like of the old Scion heads if they look good on them. But we'll have to see, really.
Now I had another game with Sam actually against his Nemesis Claw as well, and the Wheel of Destiny chose Hearthkin Salvagers for me. And this is the first time I've ever played them. I painted them up a long time ago, and they were pretty fun actually. I really enjoyed them. They're a little bit slow, but man, you get some grudge tokens going, and stuff just dies.
Yeah, permanently turned on AP1. It's just the same thing as, the intercession team, but even more reliable on, or somewhat more reliable. It's a 4-up save, but you can make, or 4-up to hit, but you can make it a 3-up. And you're pretty much guaranteed the crit always, which is always fun.
Now with my roulette wheel of kill team, I encourage people to do this too. But along with the bingo, I think the roulette wheel for kill team, especially if you have some people that know that are pretty solid on the rules and can kind of figure out teams on the go. Like I said, I played my Brood Brothers. I ended up playing my Hearthkin Salvagers, and then Tyler, you spun the roulette wheel too. And what did you get on the roulette wheel?
I don't remember honestly.
Was it
Um,
intercession or no? What
oh
was it?
yeah, I think I played, what was it? I played intercession into Sam, right? I want to say.
Uh, I can't. I'm trying to
I don't
remember. I don't remember,
honestly.
but
It was a couple drinks in, and maybe a little bit of herbals also. So
like vitamins.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I stay up on my vitamins, vitamin C and B, plenty of vitamin D.
No, actually, gosh, who was it? No, you played my Blades of Cain into Nick. That's who it was.
Yes, you're right. It was Blades of Cain,
Yeah, and that
and
was
that's
your
that's
first
that's
time
where I
playing him,
got
right?
Nick. Yeah, it was, and that's where we got Nick to complain about weird rules. Also,
We did, and Nick ran your Legionaries, right?
yeah, I think so. So
Yeah. What'd you think of Blades of Cain? I mean, and
they were fun. Like,
yeah,
the ability to flex at any moment, to never know, like what your opponent's going to throw at you. It's really cool. It like really works with the style of Aspect Warriors. Rather than boiling it down to a single operative, you have all of the operatives all over the board whenever you need them.
yeah, I really enjoyed Blades of Cain as well too. In the past, I played him earlier this year for a little while, and yeah, being able to kind of do what you need to, and having essentially like everybody's a warrior, but you have 5 different things that they can do. They're pretty fun. So I was excited to see that you spun the wheel of destiny as well too, and picked a team. And like I said, I think that if you're recreating this and doing this with friends, you you create the roulette wheel, everybody brings the teams they have, and you spin the wheel and just randomize it, because that was one of the most fun parts to me. And like I said too, I think it got me out of my kill team shell to play some teams I'd never played before.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like a chance to play some games and like for it to not be like the one time that you get practicing that week, something like that. Like it's nice. Just the environment of first hanging out with people in a casual setting. There's being like, oh, you want to go set up a game at midnight or whatever. When you're just all hanging out is really really cool. Like go socialize with your tabletop friends like outside of the game store.
Yeah, it was fun. And of all the teams I brought, the only teams that didn't get played basically were the Arbides, the Mandrakes, which were half painted, and then the Goats. So I think everything else that I brought from I think I brought like 10 teams, and almost all of them got played, which was awesome. So Johan is newer to Kill Team. Nick's been teaching Johan how to play Kill Team a little bit, but Johan jumped right into this hornet's nest and was drinking from the Kill Team and the 40k lore fire hose, because when you plop somebody down and they ask a couple questions about it, we're going to tell you everything we know. And Connor, you got to play a game against Johan, right? I think you ran my Black Templar intercession against Johan, and he brought some orcs.
Yes, I did. It was pretty fun playing Intercession. They're just beat sticks, which is fun, and double shooting's always neat. And yeah, he was playing his commandos, or your commandos, someone's commandos,
My commandos, yeah.
your commandos. Yeah, great paint on both the Intercession and the commandos, and I always like seeing your paint jobs. So great work on that. And yeah, I fought Johan, which was a pretty fun match. It was very much training wheels because he was new to the game, so we were explaining profiles and what they all mean and having to like check rules and stuff all the time because he's like, well, here's what it says in the book, and we're like, well, actually, the book's super outdated. Which hey, hopefully with these free rules, that's going to be changed. But it was a great match. I may have pulled some punches and played with training wheels, but he came away with a good time, and that's all you can really hope to do on someone's first match.
Yeah, and I matched into Johan a little bit later too. Actually, same thing, Orcs versus Intercession, and I again kind of a training wheels game, and there came a point where I realized that I was going to kind of like be pretty oppressive against him, so I dialed it back a little bit, but then he started making some plays and making some moves. He jumped his bomb. He had his knob, or it's the boss, right? Next to two of my Space Marines and had them locked up in combat and dropped his bomb squig on us and just blew up the entire group. And it was a pretty awesome play. He really started to kind of see how the game's played and started to get a little more like advanced tactics after a couple games. So I'm excited to see what he continues on. I know he's got orcs himself. He's got the vet guard kill team, and he's working on some intercession stuff too. So I'm excited to see where he goes. And also, anytime we can get people playing kill team, that's a win. So that was Friday. Tyler ordered some pizza for us, and we just kind of hung out and played kill team.
It was good. Thanks for
Watched
the
some
pizza.
random YouTube. Yeah, thanks for the even though it was Domino's, but you know what? Pizza's pizza.
I mean, like, can you go wrong with Domino's? Like, it's not great, but like, it's solid. It's acceptable pizza, always.
So that was Friday. We did Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, let's see, what did we do Saturday? Saturday, we just got up and played more Kill Team. Like when we just kind of had boards set up throughout the day. Sam unfortunately wasn't able to make it back on Saturday, but we had the rest of us here. I know that played through a few games. We went out for Mexican. Had
Yeah, we
some Connor picked a restaurant. Actually worked out pretty good.
yeah, absolutely. So it was real solid. Like we woke up. I think it was like hair of the dog right away for most of us, and just kind of started in gaming and joking around. It was nice to like just be able to step outside. Also, take a look down like over the bay and everything in Astoria.
Yeah, the I'm actually recording in the bedroom right now, and I can see the Astoria Bridge. It's a very nice setup. We're very lucky to be able to have access to it. Um,
Thank you, Jenna's parents, for
yeah,
letting
thank you,
us
Paul and
hang
Lisa.
out.
Yeah, really appreciate it, and I'm actually spending most of the week here, so I'm excited for it too. But
Brag about
a
it.
couple things, yeah, pretty much. A couple things that I had some notes. Aggressors. We had a very contentious argument about aggressors because Connor, you're like aggressor super fan number one.
I might be the only aggressive fan in the world. I don't know. I like that look of big guns attached to your armor via some sort of like chain magazine mechanism. There was some cool concept art for it from games I played as a kid, and I always liked it.
What do you mean games you played as a kid?
Like in
Those are
Halo,
they're
there.
not. Okay. Yeah, I thought you meant like specifically the aggressor armor.
Oh no,
Um,
no, no! Like concept art
you're
from
gonna
like
be like,
sci-fi games and stuff.
I was gonna be like, man, that's like, you're not that young, are you? But I know better than that. No, but come on, man. Like the aggressors, it's easily one of like the worst. I think that those like Nerf gun guys are better than the aggressors.
The t-shirt cannon ones everyone memes on.
Absolutely. Uh huh. Yeah. Like the
I don't
aggressors.
hate those,
Oh,
but I do wish they were in Gravis armor. I just like big bulky armor, and I really like the look of Gravis.
Gravis is fine. That's not the issue. It's the aggressor models. It's like how they lean forward. It's their big like monkey or like gorilla looking arms. They look like off balance. They always look like they're about to fall over. You
Yeah,
okay,
pretty
Connor?
much yeah, did you Connor, you live?
Yes, I think this fell off my desk and made a loud bump.
All right. Well, it's not like we're recording a podcast, so
I'm
don't
sorry,
just throw shit
Chuck.
around.
I'll clip that and this part out.
Nope, you leave that all in.
Yeah.
I need people to know your shame.
Fine. Well,
Yeah,
if
you're
you
not
want,
allowed to edit the podcast.
shucks. Okay, we'll do it live like that one guy from that one clip. No, but my real hot
Okay, we'll
take
do it live.
is that I don't like the look of Terminator armor, particularly like whatever the standard one is in the 40K. Like the Horus Heresy stuff looks pretty cool, but I got into 40K when there weren't the new Terminator sculpts, and I always thought they just looked really really goofy and bad. And like tactical Marines to me, there's some like a bit of not nostalgia. I'm blanking on what the word is, but like it's just so you like it's goofy, so you love it. But I never felt that way for Terminator armor, and even the new Terminator armor, I'm like on. So I've always just preferred aggressors because it's like Terminators but cooler to me.
This to me feels like a Seinfeld's not funny argument. Like, have you guys heard about that
I
idea?
Is it that like
I don't know if I
Seinfeld's
have.
not funny because it was like it's so old and every show that's come after it has redone it?
Yeah, basically, like Seinfeld is like so groundbreaking for its time that like when newer generations and people who haven't been exposed to it originally watch it after consuming media post Seinfeld, they'll go like, Seinfeld's not that funny, I don't get it. But like really for the time and the context and everything, very funny.
I just can't believe that you think that the old Terminator armor is better than the new Terminator armor. The new Terminator armor is amazing. The old Terminator armor just looks like trash cans.
No, I agree. The new Terminator armor does look better, but I'm still on it. I don't like the helmet and the power pack backpack like giant generator they have just looks really lopsided to me. And it looks like if they get knocked down, they're not going to be able to get back up because they're going to be stuck upright like a turtle on the back of its shell.
But the aggressors can stand up. The aggressors?
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
the
just
aggressors.
the Gravis armor is just Tacticus armor. We're getting really into the weeds with stupid 40k lore. But Gravis armor is just Tacticus armor with extra plating on it. And so it's just super bulky, which, that's fair. They definitely can look a little lopsided. And I'll agree, the poses aren't as great as they could be because, like, I would have liked one where they had their guns upright shooting, like in Matrix 2 when all the humans were in the mechs. But I still think they look sick. I like the chain guns attached to the, like, bullet-fed backpack and then the, like, built-in power fist.
It's really like if you gave Terminators chain-fed bolters, you'd be more into it, huh?
That would help, but I still wouldn't like him. I think the helmets and the giant hunchback power armor are just not it for me. I like the Chaos versions better because the tusks growing out of the helmets make them look actually better rather than this like weird half breed elephants. With the tusks, I'm like, nice, that's perfect, that's very chaosy, it's great. But normal loyalist one, I'm just like, eh.
But still,
Cataphractii
just like
Terminator though, that Cataphractii's great. And
Aggressors suck.
no, you suck, Chuck. I like aggressors. I want more aggressors.
Yeah.
I want more Gravis.
Look at that giant backpack. Like, there's no way they're standing up if they fall over. Like, they're way more beached than a normal, like, Terminator would be.
Connor, how do you defend the backpack?
I like it. I like the shape and profile of it better. And the customer is always right in matters of taste, as the saying goes. And in this case, I am the customer, so I will buy the aggressor kits and not the Terminator ones. But I know I'm in the minority of this opinion, and possibly the only one on Earth with this opinion.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that you actually know the whole quote, because as someone who's worked in customer service for like 25, 26 years, the whole customer's always right thing is kind of, it's one of those where you got to hear the whole quote, because if you don't, it's not worth it. So good job on that one, Connor.
I do know some things.
Yeah, I don't think the aggressors in concept are bad. I really think it's the sculpts and the photos. Like, they look marginally better in person. I just like to give you shit about it. So, everyone can like what they like, even if it's weird and looks like it's gonna fall over.
On
Except
that,
Admac.
no, thanks, buddy. I was gonna say on that topic, do you guys have any besides aggressors, of course? But like, are there any models from your like mainline army that you just like will never vibe with?
I mean, the new Sanguinary Guard aren't feeling it, and the new Death Company, I'm not like. the Sanguinary Guard were so beautiful, and they did my boys dirty.
Yeah, they like removed their nipples but made it look more like breast somehow on the armor, which is like really impressive to me.
Yeah, it's I mean, I feel like I'm gonna eventually come around to them. I with the new box set that's coming out, the Blood Angels Death Company box set, I'm almost kind of excited to play 40k because I want to play with Lamarties and I want to play with Astrath. But man, Sanguinary Guard, I don't know. Even I've got I've got 15 at least Sanguinary Guard right now with the old stuff, and I might just use those. Maybe I'll just rebase them.
Kit bashing the two is probably also like good. The old Sanguinary Guard have way better heads for sure, like 100%.
Yeah, they just did so much more with those old Blood Angels kits. Like the old Death Company, old Sanguinary Guard have just so much character to them, and now they've unfortunately fallen to the corporate grind, and it's easier for them to just slap some stuff on some generic Primera Space Marines. You know what? I'm right. Gabriel Seth was right, okay? They're just red Ultramarines, or in this case, gold Ultramarines.
Mm-hmm. He was right. Seth was right.
Although they do have the upgrade sprue does have eviscerated chainsword, so that's pretty cool.
I do like that. I want more eviscerators in 40k beyond just on the sisters.
Yeah, I didn't. There wasn't an eviscerator chainsword like back in the day, so I took two chainswords and I cut them like right at like the part where the part feeds into it. And made my own for one. So I got a intercessor sergeant with like just a giant chainsword.
Tyler, is anybody who was your what did you play mainline for kind of like Big Hammer when you did?
I
You
mean,
had a ton of Necrons, right?
I do. I have actually my main army these days is probably Dark Angels. I think I have like close to 4,000 points of Dark Angels, like painted. And then I've got like 2,200, 2,500 in Necrons all painted up, and then around 2K in Chaos Night Lords. So like I have a couple decent sized armies. And then back in the day it was Orcs, and Tau, and then Dark Angels, and then before that it was Eldar was my first love.
Did you ever have anybody though from those armies that you couldn't do it, you couldn't handle the models?
I mean, I've always kind of kit bashed my stuff. Um, like a lot of the old models like were pretty rough, especially like in fourth edition and things like that. You were starting to see like some of the newer kits pop up and things. Death Watch was coming out like right around fourth, fifth, um, and so like they were scaled up a little bit from Tactical Marines. So, I do about like a lot of like buying bits, especially because they were all like really modular. So it'd be like Death Watch legs, and then it'd be like a torso from another kit, and then arms from another one. Um, I've always made the stuff that I like. Generally, like if I don't like something, I'll make it something I like.
I can only imagine what your collection of bits looks like. I've got a couple boxes of bits. I'm guessing you have like just steamer trunks full of bits.
I mean, I try to use a lot of them. A lot of stuff I keep on sprue, honestly, because like that's how my mind organizes it. So I'll keep like boxes organized by faction. And so like one box, like I have an Indominus box in my house, and it's full of just like a whole bunch of loyalist marine stuff. So like Death Watch Grey Knights, a whole bunch of 30k stuff in there. Just like anytime I acquire new marine stuff, all of the offcuts go into there. And I'll cut the sprues down if they get like pretty barren. So I just have like little chunks on there. But yeah, it gets pretty intense. But I like generally group it kind of like by it's like elf, orc, humanoid, and then space marines, and then chaos all goes into like one area.
Yeah, I clip all my stuff off. It's all organized into like fishing tackle boxes, and it's you can I can so I can find anything you need. But it sounds like you can too.
Yeah, I think like so I have like this like one like little fishing tackle box like wall like not holder thing, um that has like a whole bunch of like clip parts in it, and I find myself like when I need to find that one piece, digging a lot more. For some reason, my mind can like recall like what sprue it's on easier than it can like pick it out of like a cluttered like heap of heads or something, or like a whole bunch of arms.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've done a lot of like digging, like taking an entire pile of heads, putting them on my desk, and then digging through them. So it's maybe your system's better than mine, but I'm gonna stick with mine. You stick with yours.
Yeah, yours probably takes up less space than mine.
It does actually. It's yeah, it takes about I don't know, the size of a shoebox for all of my bits.
I'm like halfway in between both of you. I have like 2 or 3 tackle boxes type stuff, but that's for when I'm pretty much fully done with the sprue and there's only the remainder bits. Otherwise, they're in various levels of like, here's the giant, like kill team box that holds all my Imperial Guard bits. Here's the one that holds all the sisters. Here's the Marines, and so on. Which is not great. I've been slowly condensing it down thanks to the help of Sierra. We just got some like organizing shelves the other day, so the closet's looking really nice and fresh. So that's always fun.
That's probably like the way to do it. I think you guys are like right overall, because like mine gets pretty chaotic thinking about it, but like getting it trimmed down, it would probably free up a lot of storage space for me. I think that's a hobby project I'm gonna have to take on this year after CritCon.
Well, back to Vox-Cadia at the coast. Vox Coast-Cadia, as David coined it. Uh, the late night showdown on Saturday night, played until about 2 in the morning, was Connor versus Tyler. Now, I spoiled the ending to it, but you guys got to play on. You played on one of Connor's Into the Dark maps he's making, right?
That is correct. Yeah.
And played until about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we finally retired for the evening. Tyler brought out that win. Tyler, what did you play? Did you play Legionaries or Nemesis Claw?
I was playing Legionaries. Um, they're my old faithful there. I can't quite get over them.
Well, they worked, and you beat Connor, and then we all went to bed. And we went to bed about 2 a.m. And the funniest thing to me was, I was watching the game, and you guys were. It was really interesting to watch you guys play as someone who can't really like see the game ahead, but the two of you almost had it like a game of chess where you had like premonition for like watching what plays were going to pop up, and it was really interesting. I don't know that I've ever watched a game between two like quality players that close and saw how you guys like were predicting what's going to happen, and almost like a game of chess.
I mean, like you definitely. I think that's like one of the things in it. You're thinking about with how your opponent is positioned. You know where they're going to be able to go next. Like what options are going to come up. Since it's not quite a solved game like chess, they can move freely anywhere, or do anything within reason. Um, there's so many more options, and I think that's one of the things that like really appeals to me about Kill Team over, say, a game like chess.
Yeah, I agree because like while there are patterns, you can recognize how your opponent's going to move, especially if you're familiar with their team. The ability to kind of see those patterns and then try and counter them with your own units and stuff is what makes it so addictive. Especially just because there's always going to be that randomness chance of maybe I roll really high and kill something that I normally wouldn't, or maybe I rolled really poorly and now I'm going to have to super adjust my plan, which sucks in the moment but creates some cool stories and like ways to make sure the game will always stay fresh.
Yeah. I also think that like with it not being like solved and your movement isn't as say like restricted often, you can do a lot more kind of like game changing stuff. So like rather than being like, in a game of chess, you're gonna be like, okay, well, my only option is really to like engage here, continue down the path I've set. Whereas like you can completely abandon something. You could run a guy away that people are expecting you to charge into it because they've set up defenses for it and stuff like that. You don't have to play the game that someone expects you to play in a lot of ways.
Well, then after we finished that game, and you guys were both locked in, and I was watching the game. We all went to bed. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning, and the what I thought was the funniest thing is that the three of us went to our separate rooms, and then all instantly jumped on Discord and started answering questions and responding to people.
You gotta have the wind down time, man.
If you don't, it's just not the right way to go to bed.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna play with our phones before we go to bed. But I just thought it was funny that instantly like messages started popping up from all three of us. So that was Saturday, and then Sunday was the finale. Oh, one thing we did too, actually, that was really fun, and we watched the entire Angels of Death, not the prequel, but we watched the whole Angels of Death series. It was nice to go back and revisit that. We also watched all of Astartes too. This was part of the drinking from the fire hose that we gave to Johan for Kill
Yep.
Team and Warhammer lore.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, there was a lot for him to process, you know? He, like, it's like someone who had, like, seen an Ultramarine cutout at a place, and we're like, okay, here you are, you're sink or swim now.
Yeah, you see the Ultramarine cutout, and we're like, okay, we're going to explain the horse heresy to you. So
Yeah. So first there was Johnny Warhammer, and
yeah, that's he was a great sport about it, and like I said, I'm excited to see what he can do when playing the game more too. So one thing I do have to confess, and Jenna, if you're listening, I apologize. It wasn't cheating, but it almost felt like cheating because I watched the Costco deals guy without her. And this is something that we do as a couple. If you guys have ever been on YouTube, um, y'all gentlemen watched it with me. There's a man who records from his basement the top 10 deals, although every one of the 10 has like five things in it. And then there's like 10 bonus ones too, where he just goes to Costco and finds what's on sale for the month. And the new one came out, and I watched it without Jenna, and I felt really bad about it, but I watched it with you guys, and I'm confessing right now. I'm hoping that she can forgive me for what I've done.
I understand if she leaves you. How dare you watch the Costco guy without her? That's criminal behavior, man.
you know, my partner and I have like a channel like that. We watch Gears and Gasoline, which they're like, it's just some guys doing car stuff. Like, it's good stuff, but like she's not too into cars or anything. I used to race cars, so you know, I'm pretty into it. But like every week, that's what we do Saturday. It's like, can we, you know, when are we watching Gears and Gasoline today? You know, are we going to do it like over dinner, something like that? Or are we taking a separate time out to actually watch it?
Now, Connor, actually, I'm gonna go with Tyler on this one. Tyler, if you betrayed your partner like I betrayed Jenna and watched the Costco deals guy without her, how would you make that up to her? What do I need to do?
You know, I think like in this situation, like you need to take her to Costco.
And then,
I'd probably buy her something. Like that's probably the appropriate thing. You know, like just get her like, I don't know, like a charcuterie set, not like a set, but like one of the platters, you know, so you guys can have like a cute little night eating like charcuterie board together or something. You know, just like a weird food. She seems like a girl who would appreciate like a strange or interesting snack from Costco.
she does. She loves food, and I love that she loves food because I can cook, and therefore I can entice her with that. Maybe I'll have to maybe we'll go to Costco, we'll get the charcuterie board, and then I'll have to build her up a fancy board like that. So that's a good suggestion. But Jenna, I apologize. I did it once, and I think I've learned my lesson. And Connor and Tyler, thank you for helping talk me through this.
Anytime, buddy. Not a problem.
So, gentlemen, any last thoughts on the weekend? I know one thing, Tyler, you seem inspired by kind of our weekend as well as the weekend that Tyler Russo had doing some hobby stuff and some kill team or not kill team, but Warhammer, right?
Yeah, he was out doing some Hive Scum stuff. Recently playing Necromunda, kind of like a tailored campaign over the weekend. And there's you know like some other ones that go on in England and stuff like that. So you know maybe we talked a little bit about it last week, but I think I'm gonna try to run like kind of like a little private tailored event. I think it was so cool. I want to see more of it, and I want to bring more people into it and kind of have community come together in new and exciting ways.
Yeah, I think we end up going to tournaments. We go to our game stores, but it's nice once you when you make some friends and you feel comfortable with those people to bring them into different parts of your life. I think having them in and having more time to just like a lot of times we go, we set up a board, we play a game, and we go home. But having some time to hang out and have a drink or have some food and stuff, I think adds a lot to it. And I'm very glad that y'all made the trips down here. I know it was, Tyler, it's like 3 hours from Salem, and Connor, you're like 3 hours from where you are. But I mean, Nick drove you, but so it's not as bad. But
True. Thank you,
yeah,
Nick.
I appreciate y'all making it down here, and I hope we can do it again next year too.
I'm looking forward to being back over there. So, and I'm sure everyone else on the road also thanks Nick for driving Connor down.
That's a good call right there. And actually, Nick let Connor pick the playlist for the way down. Connor, what'd you listen to?
Just like my standard main playlist, and then what I have on
Kids Bop.
repeat.
Kids Bop Volume 1 through 15.
No, it was not that. It was a lot of like Midwest emo, indie pop punk, 2000 shit. Tyler's heard some of it.
Every time I see you post music, it's like classic male manipulator music is what they call it.
Oh man, I guess that's not
No, it
unfortunately
totally
inaccurate.
is. It totally is. Like all of the guys in all of those
What's
bands are like some of the worst people. But also,
It's not my fault. I like the music, and then most of the artists
it's
behind
good
it are the
stuff.
worst people ever.
It's
what is
good
this, like
stuff.
the like the groomer playlist or something?
Not like
I
that, but just like shitty boyfriend playlist.
Yeah, like so there's like this type of dude who relies on like emo music and stuff like that to pretend to be like sensitive and kind and all of those things, but really they're just a male manipulator who's using emotions to manipulate people rather than like being traditionally abusive. And so it's kind of become a meme online that because like all of the members of these bands, it like always comes out. It feels like you'll be like, oh, I used to love that band, I wonder what they're up to, and then you look them up and it's like, oh, lead singer arrested for dating a 16-year-old, new allegations for this, or like just like certain members of those scenes can be kind of skeezy, but the music's fantastic. So
Well, it's good to know that Connor's taste in music is as bad as his taste in kill teams.
Oh, fuck off, Chuck. You're just jealous that I play a kill team that has a guide and you don't.
I mean, the Emperor.
Yeah, corpse worshiper or something. I don't know what the chaos people say.
Yeah, what is it? The Corpse God.
Something like that.
Yeah. So, well, besides our weekend, there's some exciting stuff coming up on in the kill team scene. So we talked about it last week. We talked about all the new stuff coming out, the hype storm, as I coined it, and I'm pretty sure that's going to catch on. But we got a little bit more of the Vespids this weekend. We're waiting on the Scions, and we're actually going to get a game this weekend. Are you guys excited to see Adrian Bonavento and I think it's Alexa, right, are playing the two new teams with new rules?
I'm super excited. I would hate, Adrian, I don't do anything like put the rule book directly in front of the camera or anything. We would hate that. Accidentally
Yeah,
like
that'd
be
be
like,
a
hey,
terrible accident.
hey guys, we were unsure about this new rule interaction, so we were opening the rule book directly over the board on stream, page by page. Don't do that.
Yeah, I've got it marked on my calendar. I've got a busy Saturday ahead, but I am going to take some time to see that. I think it's about 4:45 our time is when it's going to be on, and I'm super excited. Did you guys
Yeah.
anything that popped up from the Vespid news we got last week that you guys want to go over? Anything that like stuck out to you or made you kind of question your life?
They are exactly like I was expecting them to be. Honestly, like no surprises there. I think they look super cool. Everything I'm seeing from like these new rules and like the new season, very exciting. I'm super hyped. Like, can't wait.
I think as far as the new season, besides me griping about Compendium going away, which I don't even play Compendium, that's the hill I'm going to die on. I don't. I haven't seen much people being upset about it yet. So
There's people griping online for sure. Um, there have been, I see like a decent number of people griping about Compendium going away, and it's a lot of people who haven't played the game before, and now they're interested in it. And it's like, while it sucks that the new edition is hyping you up, and maybe your personal faction isn't in it, um, don't get stuck on trying to shoehorn it in. Make sure you give this edition a full chance before you decide to maybe go back and force Compendium into this edition.
Also, having just played a Compendium team over the weekend, I built a mercenary cadre, aka Crute. There's only a handful of teams in the Compendium people play, and that's for a reason. They suck. Like, I like them. They're really thematic. It's great to bring or not thematic, but they're really fun. It's fun to use your models. Bringing a Crute Toxin into the dark is great, but 95% of those teams don't get played for a very obvious reason, and that it's just you're not playing the game at a level that's enjoyable because everyone else has tricks from A to Z and then 1 through 14, and you have tricks from maybe A to like lowercase a. It's there's not a lot that's going to be missed from it.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've seen people, show up with Grey Knights, which is a team that can do work, like they're fine, and maybe they're successful for their first game, but then they keep pushing with them, and you can't get past that point because they don't have the tricks that are necessary to like fully experience the game, you know. Um, and I think that that's like the point that we're at with Kill Team is that it's taken on a life of its own beyond 40k. It just happens to be set in the 40k universe, and trying to make sure everything always fits into Kill Team and all factions fit into Kill Team maybe isn't the best for the game and its future, in my opinion.
What did you guys think about the information we got about the co-op rules? So, looks like you can kind of basic overview for co-op is you can bring like half of a kill team. So you could bring, say 3 Nemesis Claw and Connor could bring 5 robots or whatever to play against the non-player operatives or whatever they are, the NPOs. And is that what they're NPOs? Non-player operatives? Yeah.
Yeah, NPOs.
But you can split up your kill team, and then they had basically looks like they have a couple different types of guys you can play against. One of them's got like an intercessor build out, and sounds like it's actually a points thing or a wounds thing. You count the amount of wounds you have. So what do you guys think about that so far?
I thought it was pretty cool. I like that the co-op modes are just kind of going wild with what you can bring on the teams. That's really fun. It'll be fun to create scenarios of like why maybe Night Lords are working alongside like Imperial Guard. You can do some cool stuff with it, and I imagine it's going to play similar to the Dark Tide board game. So everything I heard from that was it's pretty enjoyable. So anything you can use to introduce new players will always be useful. And maybe I'll finally be able to convince Sierra to try Kill Team.
Just make her do it. That's what I'm gonna do with Jenna. I'm just gonna put stuff on the table. I'm gonna say if you want to eat, you have to play me, play with me, and she's gonna tell me no, and then I'm gonna go cry, and we're gonna have dinner anyways.
That seems like an effective strategy of attempting to like cure gaslight. I don't know what the term is. That your girlfriend. I'm sure she'd love that, Chuck.
I think it's like bribery / holding her hostage.
Yeah, gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. Keep the 3 Gs in there.
There you go. So, well, it's getting late, so let's wrap this up because I'm gonna go to bed because I can't wait for more Scion news tomorrow.
That's what I'm looking for. I woke up today after my weird night shift, and I was really looking forward to like seeing 800 messages in chat about the Scions, and nothing, almost nothing, because they gave us nothing. Just talk about Kill Team's favorite theme song. So, people in the comments of this, let us know your favorite theme song for your Kill Team.
Yeah, there were some pretty good ones in there. Like Tyler, you brought up that our BDs would be, what is it?
Bad Boys.
Bad Boys, yeah.
By the Inner Circle, yeah. That's weird that the Lion, like I wouldn't think of him to make like reggae music like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's
diverse.
It's appropriation is what it is.
That like one book cover where the lion looks black because of the bad shadows? That was just his time where he spent a lot of time in Jamaica.
He just got tan over spring break.
Yeah, tan over spring break. Really got into the herbals, the forest, the green, if you will. Came back and changed his legion's color.
Got his hair braided.
Yeah, like that Michael Scott episode.
Yeah, feeling hot.
Who would be the Jan in his photo then?
It would be
Luther. The Lion's photo?
Yeah.
It'd be Luther.
Luther? Okay. We'll have to... Tyler, I need that commission so we can put it on a shirt for like the next summer theme when we do.
Scott and Jan as fucking the Lion and Luther. That's ridiculous. I love it. I may actually commission that.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you recapping our weekend for what we remember of it. And again, I'm excited to do it again. So, speaking of exciting weekends, CritCon Killscream 3 is coming up in like 5 weeks. So, it's a 3-day convention at the Lloyd Center in Portland, Oregon. We're going to have a golden ticket for Kill Team. We're going to have an Age of Sigmar tournament. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have
We got Inquisitor 52 millimeter too. Really limited spaces for that. So if you can't do Kill Team or the other stuff, or you're interested in painting, maybe check that out. That'll be really cool.
Yeah, the Inquisitor's only almost sold out too. It's a very, very limited run, and I think there's only 1 or 2 spots left as far as I saw.
Yeah, there's 6 tickets total for Inquisitor. It's like a fully, you don't have to bring anything. The guy who's running it provides you with the models and the teams and teaches you the rules and everything. But yeah, there's only a couple tickets left for that. I think Sunday has a few spots left, and then Saturday it has like 1 left in it.
So CascadiaTabletop.com is where you can find that. It'll be in the show notes. It's going to be it's the send-off for 2nd edition too. I think we're going to be the last big tournament before the new edition comes out. The new edition may actually drop that weekend, but we're not going to be playing it. We're going to be playing the solid one with the shapes and the colors.
Absolutely. Let's talk about this real quick. I want to do a little tangent. You just reminded me of something. So we're on like the 9th edition of Kill Team coming up, technically. But like Kill Team prior to this edition, it wasn't real, like it didn't have an identity of its own. So let's stop calling this Kill Team 3.0. We'll call it Kill Team 2.0, because this is the 2nd edition of the real Kill Team, in my opinion.
That's fair enough. We can, I don't know if it'll stick, but yeah, it's really the 2nd edition of this Kill Team because they basically scrapped everything after the 2018 one.
100%. And, all of the previous versions were definitely scrapped, like there's ideas that are clearly coming to this point, but, this is the 2nd edition.
You heard it here, folks. 2nd edition Kill Team is the new hotness. Don't get confused by anything. And there's no shapes, so come play with us. Tyler, you got some shirts that are on pre-order right now. They're until the end of the month? A couple days?
Yeah, they'll probably go a little bit past the end of the month. I've had a couple of people say, "Oh man, I can't do it until after I pay rent." So we'll probably do it like a week after. So dicethrower.bighotel.com, or check me out at Lowbrow Minis on Instagram.
Connor, are you keeping our Vox Cascadia updated?
I am. I'm posting stuff on it. We're going to be posting a little bit more stuff recently because I'm going to be doing a little series on boarding actions and why you should play it. Which, speaking of which, I know we're super busy with CritCon, but I have an idea for the next tag team tournament with that super sneaky segue. But yeah, we'll be posting stuff as always. We have to make sure we post that the bingo sheet. So please send me that as well, Chucky.
Yeah, we'll get some pictures from the Vox Coast-Cadia weekend up there. I'm at Painted Cave Minis on Instagram, and I hardly ever post, but you can find me there. I'll post some new stuff. I'm actually almost done with my Strike Force Justian. So I'm finishing up the sniper, and I got the captain left.
Yeah, Chuck, I even tagged you in one of those like fun, post your story things and then tag other artists. And I tagged like you, Tyler, Nick, and Jeremy and Scott. And I think Jeremy was the only one that responded. So no one listens to me.
You got me on like a day where like I wasn't able to like pull out a photo and stuff like that. And then by then it was, all gone. I couldn't relocate the story. I like Sierra going, "Oh," in the back. That was sweet.
She's sorry about that. She's playing Dragon Age, like the original one, I think, and it just crashed after she's been fighting a fight for like an hour and a half since we started. So she's
the original Dragon Age.
Yeah, she's enjoying it, but it's definitely funny looking at a game that's come out like 20 years ago or something at this point.
I'm actually replaying Oblivion right now, so like that's kind of what my eyes are used to seeing.
I just started Star Wars Outlaws this afternoon, so I ponied up for the special edition so I could play it early because I knew I was gonna have some time down here at the coast, and so I'm working on that one right now. I'm like 45 minutes into it. It's pretty fun so far. Thank you so much, and appreciate y'all. like I said, can't wait for us to get together again. I think the next time I'll see the two of you is gonna be CritCon, and we'll have to plan a getaway again in the future so I can get Connor to give me the double bird in person one more time.
Yeah, we can get him white girl wasted again. Maybe this
Maybe
time
maybe like half a White Claw this time.
a whole white claw. Like
I
get real
finished
wild.
that drink. Okay, it was like over the course of an hour and a half, but I finished my can of brand White Claw.
I'm pretty sure it was over the course of like the weekend, actually.
I don't want to say I hate you because that's like the meme, but you're making a blatant lie right now, Chuck, and lying is bad.
That's okay. I lean into it.